first session that I did, this is quite funny. So I am recording this. So the first session that I am definitely recording it. So the first session that I did, that umbrella nearly killed me. And I was actually thinking about putting it up, and I tried, and I thought, that doesn't look right. It looks like it's been damaged. So I said to myself, no, it'll just be the same thing that happens. Yeah. So I ended up running off camera.
Yeah, you don't want to be doing that.
No, it's kind of not the best look. It was quite funny when you think about it. And then Carson, the other half, could see I was screaming. Came downstairs. Yeah. Because I was thinking, I actually think it's gonna knock there's just like a little bit of an insert here, so I actually thought it could actually do some damage. So anyway, we were safe eventually, but I did catch it in time. So let's start. If there's anybody else that joins, Zoom's changed itself in some senses. I've got to admit people, but I'm sure that we'll cope with that. But just to go back to this charity, these are the CV templates, and I will mention this later on, but there's a link there, so if you want to go and look at them. But all money goes to charity, and how honest I am, as soon as you make that payment, obviously I'm in a different time zone, so if you're doing it at midnight, I'm not going to do it straight away, but you will get a receipt back with the payment made to that charity. Okay, so it's 100% legit. So let's talk about what we were going to focus on today, which was LinkedIn. And the idea is that we are looking to get clients chasing you. One of the things that I notice that people make is that they go onto LinkedIn and then they're kind of saying, now what? Anybody feel that? Yeah? You're on LinkedIn, and you've been told, okay, people connect with people are selling you stuff, blah blah blah, but you don't really know how to leverage that. Is that correct for people, or let me know what you think?
Mine's not too bad, because I had the course with yourself, didn't I? So mine's been tightened up a little bit.
Fantastic. Okay, so one of the things that we're going to do today, in fact, I'm just going to go and get it 1 second, it's just here, is I'm just going to go through an agenda. And if you don't know me, I am a career coach, and I will be very quick because I have done this with other people, but my background is a career coach, and I tend to work with executive director level that are looking for that next role. I don't do career change, okay? So if you're saying to me, I'm looking for a different job in a different sector, it's probably not me, okay? So I'm very honest there. But I help people or freelancers to ultimately get hired or get clients. So that's what I do. Today, the agenda is what you need to be thinking about in terms of LinkedIn. And I sometimes hear this, that people think, okay, I've tightened it up, I think it's better. But I think I want to actually go back to what LinkedIn should be doing for you. Let's get back to basics. So is it actually fit for purpose? That's what we're going to focus on today. And I'm going to explain 2 things of what it should be doing. Another thing that I keep on seeing people mistake is that you know, to me now, and we will explain this further, is that, you know, the minimum that everybody should have, yeah, is a fantastic LinkedIn profile and a really good CV, okay? That they're your minimum things. So back in the day, 20 years ago, yeah, do you remember we used to get jobs via the newspaper? We'd send our CV. LinkedIn wasn't here. But I'm thinking that you could be missing a trick, and I want to show you, you know, how you can leverage the LinkedIn profile with the CV, because both of those documents need to be joined together. And then, you know, how you can take this further. Okay, so I'm not going to lie to you. I am a business, okay? I have rethought about things with the current situation. You know, Corona, it's had a huge impact on everybody. But I think what I'm trying to say is that you need to really start thinking about if everybody's doing the same thing, yeah, get a job, yeah. then ultimately you need to be doing something different. Yeah. So if everybody's doing the same thing, you need to be going one step further. That's what I'm ultimately trying to say to you. Okay. So the goals of LinkedIn, what are they? Okay. So the first goal is, to me, okay, as a business, and to you, if you're looking for a job, yeah, a LinkedIn profile is to get into conversations. That's ultimately your agenda. Yeah. And how do we feel that's working? Stephanie, I'm going to put you on the spot. You don't have to reply to me. You can say no. But I pick on people. She doesn't want to say hello.
Go ahead.
Oh, fantastic. Stephanie, what do you do, by the way?
I am a consultant in talent management. So I help companies develop and discover their talent. And I work a lot with Hogan Assessments on that.
Fantastic. Okay, fantastic. So what we're trying to do, okay, to work out, is my LinkedIn fit for purpose? It needs to be getting you conversations. Yeah. So Stephanie, are you looking for clients more, or are you looking for, you know, when I say, you know, like, are you looking for an interim position in a company? What is it, how is it that you work?
Well, it depends a bit. I work, I have, I used to have a small company. They just let me go because of coronavirus, of course, that I would go to twice a week. But then, so that's one part, but then the other part is also going more on a project base, so not necessarily interim.
Okay.
But more project based. But I mean, interim is, yeah, it depends on how many days and how much availability I have.
Okay. So what I'm saying to you, it depends on what you're trying to do. Mm-hmm. If you're ultimately looking for a full-time job, and it sounds like Stephanie's looking for this mixture, this hybrid kind of model, but it ultimately depends on what your goals are, and LinkedIn is able to provide you the solution to those goals. So if you're after clients or project-based work, or you're after that full-time role, then yes, LinkedIn can do that for you. Okay, so is it fit for purpose? So the question that you need to be asking yourself, we can hear the dogs, is the first question you need to be asking yourself is how many people have viewed your LinkedIn profile? Okay, and maybe we can actually do that now. So I am going to share the screen in a second. But what would be useful, I'm going to put you all on the spot, and maybe you can also be checking this out, but you'd need to check it out when I'm not sharing the screen. So I will show you mine in a second. But what you need to do is go to LinkedIn, go to the home button on the top of your screen. Yeah. And I will show you this. So if you don't know where it is, don't worry about it for now. And then on the left-hand side, there will be a picture of you, and it will say who's viewed your profile. So let me know if anybody's seen that and can tell me what their numbers are.
59.
Okay, Stephanie, what that's telling me is that you're invisible. I'm sorry.
No, and I know. Otherwise I wouldn't be here, right?
Yeah, well, hopefully, yeah. So let's give you a clear KPI. That is telling me that over 90 days that your profile has been viewed 50 times. What about Kenneth? What about yourself?
What's that? How many views?
Yeah.
15.
15. Okay,
Yep.
Stephanie, he beat you.
Woo! No, 59 I have.
Yeah.
To 1-5.
He beats me in being bad, you mean?
Yeah.
I feel much better now.
Yeah, good.
I don't want to make anyone feel bad, but remember at the start of this kind of, you were saying to me, okay, I think it's good, but this is a great way to show you, is it? Have you thought of it in this way?
Yeah.
So ultimately, great content, and again, I'm going to give you a clear example of what this means, is that the LinkedIn profile needs to be geared to what you're talking about. Yeah, it needs to be geared to what you're selling. And so, or if you're selling yourself, by the way, that I also include that. Yeah, if you are promoting you as a job, you know, for a full-time role, then it needs to be a star. And I'm going to explain why it needs to be this level. Is because, you know, Stephanie, you've got, you know, when you talked about your job there, it's pretty high level. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the only way that people can evaluate you is based on what you say. Yeah. So ultimately, it's got to be really, really good. Yeah. So we need to be thinking about it, you know, in this way. The content needs to be good and it needs to be geared to the audience that you have in mind. Yeah. Now, the biggest problem that I see is that people just talk about themselves. I've done this, I've done that. Yeah. But actually, that's not what you've been hired. That's why you're not. That's not really. You need to niche it down further. You get hired because that company ultimately has a problem. Yeah, and they're hoping that you're the solution to that problem. So if I was working with a client and working to help you understand your USP, your unique selling point, and why that ultimately matters to the company or to the clients that you want to serve. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of the times I see people put in, and I don't know if anybody's guilty of this, I'm not going to, you can tell me, you know, but they put a load of keywords in the profile, particularly IT guys.
Yeah.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
You don't.
Not all of us.
See, I'm getting attacked here. Okay. But sometimes, I knew Sean would bite there because he was here last week. Okay.
But mine's 260, by the way.
Ah, right. Okay. Okay. So actually, let's bring that back, because what you've helped show me is I haven't defined a parameter to what is good. So if you can see my screen, who's viewed my profile?
Yeah, that's
1750. Okay. So ultimately, what I'm saying to you is that the content needs to be fit for purpose and it needs to be seen by the people who matter. That's ultimately what you're trying to do. But most people don't recognize that's what they should be doing. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so views count, but views only count if it's the right type of people who are seeing it. Yeah? So we're not after, if you're an IT person, you don't want hairdressers to see it, and you don't want me to really see your profile because I'm not in your audience. So it comes back to who is it that I want to see my profile, okay? So yeah, let's actually, so, I mean, I'm going to be critical, okay, of my profile and what I've done and what I've done wrong. And this could be the reason why some of you have you know, we're on this session today. And I will be very honest. So I've been sending out messages, and I do help freelancers, okay? But I have been sending out messages when Corona hit, yeah? And I could see, okay, the job situation, loads of people being laid off, or it's going to be on the cards. So I kind of said, okay, you know, what can I be doing, yeah? So I changed my message, you know, to tell people about my live stream. Yeah. So I reached out to people and said, hey, I'm going to be doing this live stream. But the mistake, and I know that I've made this mistake because I was kind of doing it in a rush, yeah, is that my profile has got a different message to it because it's targeting freelancers. Do you see the disjoint?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah? So whatever you message needs to be in line really with your LinkedIn profile. And believe it or not, the most, the key thing that I think of a LinkedIn profile, the one thing that I would say to you that you really ultimately want to change is your tagline. If you change nothing else, your tagline is key. And that often surprises people. and I'm going to explain why. So the tagline, which is here, freelancers, but yeah, I get clients and companies chasing you. But my background is a global career coach. If you looked on my website, LinkedIn Success Academy, it would say the same, okay? But I also do this, but I try to keep it tailored to one thing that I'm selling at that time, okay? So the tagline to me is very, very important, because, by the way, I know this is not rocket science, but people don't magically just find your profile like this. Yeah, they're more likely to see you in something like, see if it will change over. It's very slow. Maybe I can. So can you see, I don't know if you can see the baby's tent and stuff. All right. It's still loading, but normally, you know, people are seeing you via invitations. Yeah, if you've reached out to them. So, you know, the first thing that means is, so there you go. This is a great example here. This is what I see of certain people. Yeah. And if the tagline doesn't speak to me, yeah, why would I even click through? And the same with invitations. If it doesn't make sense to me, or I don't get it, why would I click through to that profile? So ultimately, I'm trying to say to you is that I like to see it from everything that I do. I like to see it from the client's point of view. Yeah. And we work out your USP, why you ultimately get hired. That's pretty key. It's the only reason why you do get hired. And we ultimately make that very visible and, you know, very prominent in the profile.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then the other thing that's really important is obviously this section of your profile, the about section. Again, the problem with what LinkedIn does is they've said, click for more. So that means, yeah, you've got another hindrance. Does that actual person click more? Yeah. So I'm very good at helping you to actually navigate, okay, the pros and cons and what you can do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I also mentioned at the very start of this, I said to you that, okay, one of the things that you could also be looking at doing is linking the LinkedIn profile with the CV. Yeah, so there should be a call to action on your CV, which says something like connect with me on LinkedIn and the URL. Yeah, so there you go, there's my URL for LinkedIn. So I'm called Susan Burt Careers. Yeah, you can personalize this, yeah, yourself if you want to. If you don't know how to do it, just stick into Google how to personalize your LinkedIn URL. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, because otherwise it's normally a string of numbers.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Now, the reason why you might want to do this is because you can also use your email signature and, you know, because I would imagine, and I could be wrong, but I think I'm pretty right on this, is that you are likely to be emailing potential employees, you know, decision makers. And if your LinkedIn is pretty good, you really ultimately want to be getting people to your LinkedIn profile and getting them to connect with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so they're the big things, yeah, that you should be thinking about. Yeah. So it's a completely, you know, different way. And at the start of this, I also said to you, if you wanted to go further with this, yeah, and this is beyond like a 20-minute call, but let me just explain something for you, right? You really do need to think differently. That's going to be my motto. You need to think differently in terms of how you do your job search now these days. It is not enough, or if you're trying to get clients, it's not enough just to have a CV. You must have a really good CV and a really good LinkedIn profile, because that's how they will evaluate you. But I'm going to give you some hope, right? And don't take this in the wrong way, and don't think I'm being very cruel, right? But most CVs are very bad, and that's at director level. Yeah, they're not that good. Yeah, you're missing. So most LinkedIn profiles are not that good. So that gives you an opportunity. That gives you an opportunity, because if everybody is just average, then when you go over and beyond, yeah, you ultimately look different, and then next person's also competing with you for those clients or for that job, and they will check you out. Yeah, you go for an interview. Yeah, what do? Normally you're trying to, you get the interview letter or you get the email. What are you doing? Or what you should be doing? Any ideas?
I'd be straight away looking at everyone's profile that I'm going to be meeting.
Yeah, you would
Get as much context and research as I can.
Yeah. So Sean's saying he would jump onto LinkedIn or do some Google research to see. Now, that's great if you've got a decent LinkedIn profile. But if it's a bit naff, that's what they're going to be, because the biggest thing that people see on, the biggest thing that's used on LinkedIn, by the way, is who's viewed my profile. Yeah, who's been looking at who. Yeah, so they're likely to click onto your profile. Yeah, so that's why paying attention to these things now could be a good idea. Yeah, but let me take it further. So this is how I help people, and it's kind of to ultimately get hired. So I recognize, okay, the old school approach back in the day, which people are still following, and I've got no problem with doing the old school, by the way, but I'm just saying that you need to be doing more. So the old school, get the newspaper out, see a job, apply for the job, or you get read out, do the same thing, yeah, apply for that role. Yeah. In my eyes, you need to be also so it's kind of reactive, would you agree? Yeah, it's a little bit reactive. So in order to get clients chasing you, yeah, which is ultimately what the title of this was called, you need to be kind of looking at it in a different way. And this is where I can help you to do that. So I'm not going to lie, this is a salesman, okay? So one of the things that I do for clients is we work out, well, who is it that I should be contacting? How do I start getting more visible? How do I improve my LinkedIn profile? And by the way, we just do it for you, yeah? But how do we do these things? What is the message that we're going to be sending to that person, yeah? And also understanding, okay, who are my gatekeepers, yeah? So, Stephanie, for example, has told me that she would be focused on maybe project work, so she might be reaching out direct to companies. She could also be contacting recruiters. Yeah? So we'd need to be looking at, your number of end users and who we'd need to be targeting. Yeah? So we start off with a really killer CV, LinkedIn profile, and then we ultimately start how we can start branding and positioning you. So you start getting more visible, yeah? So if there is something, they're able to reach out to you. Yeah, that's the way that you ultimately need to be thinking about this. You need to be visible. If you're not visible, you can't get hired. It's just not just common sense. Yeah, people ultimately need to see you. So at the very start of this, I said to you, what is it that a LinkedIn profile should be doing? It should be getting you to conversations. That's what it should be doing. And that's ultimately what I can help you to achieve. So we work out who your gatekeepers are. We work out what your messaging is going to be without it being salesy, or where people can't say, oh, I can't help you. Yeah. Well, if you can't help me, we say it in a nice way. Can you point me in the direction of who could? Yeah. And we are brilliant at following up. Yeah. So we don't get a reply. Not a problem. We recognize, any salesperson will say this, the key to winning any sale, and by the way, even if you're looking for a job, you're still selling yourself, that is a sale, yeah, then you need to be thinking about it in this way. So we follow up with those people. And we can also do nice touches. So a nice touch could be, I don't know, it's somebody's birthday. It's so we can reply to those, we can wish them a happy birthday. And believe it or not, you get a lot of people replying back to this. And then we can either ask a quick, short question, or we can, you know, give them something of value. So I'll give you an example of how I do this. So this could be useful for Stephanie, and I'll think of something for a job idea as well. So let me think of Stephanie, like what I've done. So what I've done, I'm not saying that you've got to go and write a book, so please don't say that you've got to go and write a book. I'm not trying to make this complicated. But one of the things, if it's somebody's birthday, I will say, hey, I've got 2 books on Amazon, you know, the name of the books. One's like Get Companies Chasing Me, Get Clients Chasing Me. I'm happy to give you a complimentary copy. Just like to reply with yes if you want a copy. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's quite a clever way, and you get loads of people replying saying yeah, loads of people saying actually I'll have both, yeah, and they like that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to reinvent the wheel. It could be that, you know, when we're looking at your campaign, that, you know, we see something, yeah, we can ask a quick short question. So I'll give you an example. I might say to you, you know, if I endorsing somebody, and by the way, that's another thing that we do, we endorse people 50 per day, yeah, then one of the things that we also do is that when somebody, you know, and they come back with thank you for endorsing me. And the reason why they do this, just so that you know, and I'm not lying to you, is it actually comes up on LinkedIn. Yeah, just press this button. Yeah. So it's not like they've really thought about it, but the amount of people that come back and say this, yeah, they just press the button. So then we come back and we can ask a quick short question, yeah, which is something like, you know, for me, it would be, hey, now that I've got you, you know, how long are you spending on LinkedIn, yeah, to find clients or to get hired? Yeah, question mark. Yeah, or you know, something along those lines. But it doesn't have to be where you're reinventing the wheel. It doesn't have to be where you've got to create a book for this. Yeah. So we help people to work out, what can we be doing? Because what I hate, I'm sure that you do when you've been on the receiving end of things, where you just get simply loads of messages saying, book in for a session with me, or interest in this, and you've never heard of the person before in your life. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what we're about is more about building a relationship, yeah, building your brand, and just like, so happy birthday, endorsements, new job. I think there is, what else is there? I'm sure there's something else. Happy anniversary, that's what it is as well. Okay, so when we do a campaign, and that's what it is, it's a LinkedIn campaign, we would be sending 3 messages to one individual over a course of time, and we would also be doing what I call those nice touches as well. And that's where you take this into a whole different arena. Yeah, you're no longer just playing, oh, I'll just wait and see what happens. Yeah, you're taking ownership of what happens. Yeah. And that's ultimately the difference. And if I hadn't done that myself, I'd still be in London, and I would be having, yeah, not a problem. Yeah, I'd still be in London and be on, and at that time, on one of those jobs, I mean, I got another job, but at one point I was on a 0 hours contract. So, you know, you've got to think of it. Yeah, do I ultimately take ownership for my career management, or do I just go, okay, I accept it, that's fine? Or do I want to kind of like, okay, I know what's going to happen with Corona. I need to be thinking about strategically, what am I going to do different than 99.9% of the rest of the population? And that's your call, yeah? Yeah. So is there any questions there? I think it's slightly different, yeah, than you're probably used to.
No, all good for me.
I thought that was really, really, really interesting. I'm going to have to drop off. I've got another call I'm going to be on too, I'm afraid. But we'll make contact direct, because some stuff I wouldn't mind having a chat with you about. So.
Okay, not a problem. Yeah, not a problem. Lovely to speak to you again, Sean. Okay.
Thank you. Look after yourself all.
Bye, Sean.
Yeah, same to you. Same to you. Right.
No worries. Take care, Susan. Nice to speak to you again.
Do you need any help? Kind of?
No, I'm fine. No, I'm all good. All good. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's been 5 years now, isn't it?
Yeah. I'll stop. Hang on 1 second. Let me just, yeah, it has. Yeah. I'm just going to stop recording.